Good afternoon, good morning, and good night. This is the Empower Hour, and I am your host, Isabel Starck. We are on episode number 29 today, and I am super excited to feature my really great friend, Amy Nicole.
Aww.
I love you. I so love you.
Finally did
I'm so
it.
I can't believe it's. I know it's been a really long time, and I'm really glad that we're finally getting you on because I know that there's been shifts in the time that we've known each other, and you actually have found a deeper, more straighter calling. I think it would be to your business. But as with any other Empower Hour, this is all about talking to people, talking to leaders, entrepreneurs who are really following their passion and doing what they love and making money doing so. So I want to go ahead and introduce you. Yes, here we have Amy Nicole from Amy Nicole Wellness. Now, Amy is an entrepreneur. She's a coach. She's also in the wellness industry, obviously, hence the name. But she has a lot of different facets. She's a mommy, which is close to my heart. And her and I are we have some amazing conversations. And we thought, why don't we do this live so we can let everybody in on our awesome convos. So, Amy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself to get us started?
Oh, thanks, Iz. Thanks for having me, Bella. This has been like such a long time in the making, right? Holy macaroni. Yeah, it's like we're coming on meeting and falling in love. Iz was one of the first people that I was so drawn to you when we first hooked up and kind of went through a course together. So what about me? Anyway, yes, as Isabel said, I'm a coach and health and wellness and big supporter of transformation, especially for women, for moms, talking to moms that are reinventing basically after having kids and trying to figure out what the heck to do with their lives, what they're passionate about. Just reconnect. Reconnect is a word that comes up a lot. Reconnecting with their former fabulous selves, or as I call it, the former fabulosity, and really, getting back to that in every capacity, mentally, emotionally, physically, and more recently have tied in with the wellness piece and the physical part of it. But it really all goes together. It's something that I was always passionate about, and I was focusing on different pieces. Like at one point I was only focusing on mindset but had this like passion for nutrition and wellness in the background that I never really let out. So as you alluded to, more recently, things have just come together in a more focused way where I'm really able to put all the pieces to just program and support people in the way that I always envisioned, but it never really came together until really, really in the last year, it's been just on fire and made so much sense for me. So that's what I get to do today. I'm just so honored and grateful that I get to do that like daily. I'm like lit up, as you can tell.
Yeah, obviously. And I have seen, obviously, in the last year that you have just been diving into that a little bit more. But I want to talk to the fact that, you're so much more than just being a mom or just being a coach. I mean, I remember, and I actually see the microphones there on the side of the headphones.
Oh, yeah, and I do
but you're a voiceover actor.
And what?
You're also a voiceover actress.
Yeah, I'm a voiceover artist. That was definitely part of my journey. Actually, it's funny because that started. You see my headphones that my kids have like destroyed. I don't know if you can see this. Like, oh my God, totally destroyed. But yeah, no, that was actually, it's funny because that was my first taste into I'm going to do what I want to do. And change my life, because voiceover was something that I always had wanted to do since like I'm talking high school, college. Like I learned about it as oh, people do this, this is a thing, and it's acting essentially, but you're more the voice, less than the face. With traditional acting, and it was something I always wanted to do, but I always just kind of like put it on the back burner and never really pursued it. It was like, oh, I need to do these more practical things over here, and hence my journey. So what happened was after I had my second baby, I think it was like 5 months, maybe less into that. And that's kind of where I snapped. Things started really coming together where I was like, you know what? F this crap. I'm doing what I want to do. And I'm going for it. And I had a friend who was an actress, and bless her, my Miss Tia, you know, I'm sure she's not watching, but she's a busy lady with a baby of her own. But she really introduced me to it and was like, you know, hooked me up with her studio that she knew about. And that was like the beginning of my journey. But it's also metaphorically was the beginning of a bigger journey for me, because voiceover, it was like the first thing where I'm like, I'm going to do what I love, damn it, you know, no matter what. And that set off like a whole chain of events where I started writing more about it and helping women, started my blog, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, voiceover was the catalyst. So that's cool that you brought that up. Yeah, that's
awesome. I didn't realize that it was really a catalyst. I know you shared it with me, but I didn't realize that was actually the start. I always thought it was really cool. So I'm really glad that you shared that story.
Yeah,
thank you. And then from there, you know, tell us a little bit about your passion coach testing, because I know obviously it's a journey. Like no road to success is really a straight line. Yeah. It's always, you know, curves, U-turns, freaking, you know, roundabouts, everything. Roundabouts. Yeah, that's a good one.
Full on crashes. Yes.
Just tell us about, because I know you still do some workshops, right? Like you're doing some workshops for Passion Test.
Yeah, I do workshops and one-on-one work with. Actually, I don't have a book around here. How about, no? Yeah, I have it here. I'm going off camera. Yeah, this book kind of changed my life. So this was the New York Times bestselling book by Chris and Janet Atwood, The Passion Test. And again, it all happened like the same time when my second, I don't know what it is, like, and I knew I was done having kids too. So it was, for me, I was sort of like, that's it. You know, that's for a lot of moms, I feel like once they sort of know and then they're like, that's it, I'm getting back to me. You know, they hit the workouts really hard too. Just something clicks inside you where you're like, okay, I love these little beings, but I gotta do something for me. But so I don't know if that happens for everyone, but it definitely happened for me.
I think it does. It's funny that you mentioned that because, you know, Seb is my second, and when he hit 4 months is when I was like, that's it. I'm unleashing everything. Like I've given birth to these kids, and now it's time to actually give birth to all my ideas.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so true. Something as moms, we just get so selfless. You know, we're pouring everything into these little people. We gave everything to bring them into this world, you know, and we still do it to this day. But, you know, everyone has their like awakening at different times of, yes, I'm always going to be there for these little beings and love them. They're always our number one priority. But you sort of just go, hey, hi, I'm here too. Like you remember yourself again. And you, like I said, you have that awakening and it changes everything. So.
I have to say, though, I will admit that I think when that awakening happened for me, I was still kind of in the mindset of I'm going to do something for me, and that's all great. But I really kept that business like a hobby. I don't know if that happened to you.
And what?
But I don't know if that happened to you, but it was really, for me, it was like, okay, he's definitely my first priority, and, you know, the household and the family. And then, you know, it was almost like I put myself last, even though I was saying I'm freaking going for it. But I'm going to put myself, you know, in 4th position.
Yeah, you were like on the list. Like before you weren't even on the list. Now you're like on the list, but you're dead last. And that's the journey that you're talking about. That's the meandering. That is the evolution. Because the first step is you started. You put yourself on the list, but you don't really know what that looks like. So you're kind of in that exploratory phase where you're like, all right, I'm going to let this shit out. But I don't know what it looks like, and it's going to be totally freaking messy. And then you try stuff, you know, and it kind of comes together, and then you get a kick in the face where you're like, I am just treating this like a hobby. Like, you know, you get more serious kind of as you go. You see your impact. You start to get traction in certain places, as you know so well. And then you're like,
as the kids get older, you know, they are needing us less. So we actually have more time.
Exactly. And you know what? It just kind of works that way. Like the trajectories of both are perfect. Like you as a mom, you as an individual and exploring, figuring it out, changing course, blah, blah, blah. And then your kids, you know, getting older, needing you less, you know, so it's kind of like, yay, this all kind of comes together at a perfect time, you know, and everyone in their own time. And it's just a matter of like allowing yourself to sort of not have it all figured out, because it's impossible. You got to start, like we said, you got to start something, you have to explore certain things. And yeah, you're going to trip and fall and crash and burn and turn around a million times. And it's like, it's all part of it. You know, you can't get there otherwise, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I talk a lot about the lesson in all of our failures. And I think that's really it, is like you really take the lessons that you're learning. You know, you can take some from others and things that are happening around you, but a lot of the ones that you go through are the ones that you can really learn the most from, I see.
yes. Oh my God. So true. So true. I mean, and I think that's what exactly happened for me when that was one of the things where it was like, oh, the voiceover, and that led into me really wanting to talk to women about change, empowerment, as like doing what you want to do, instead of what everyone else thinks you should do, what you think you should do. You know, you're living your life by the shoulds, and just kind of just not taking it by the horns, man, and going for it. We're just like scared and you know, you're sort of hiding out, and because you're not sure what to do, right? And I get that, and it contributes to the insecurity, which is like a whole other topic, you know, that I talk to a lot of moms about, is just kind of on-ramping whatever that is. Like, you haven't been working in whatever capacity you worked before, everything changes, you know, while you're kind of there dealing with the kid stuff, life's still going on, and then you're like, oh, I kind of want to get back in this game in whatever capacity. And then you're just really insecure, and your confidence is shot. I speak to so many moms that are going through that. They're like, I don't know what I want to do, and I don't know what I'm even good at anymore, and who would even pay me, and you know what I'm saying? And their skill, they have so many skills, so many gifts, and it all sort of like flies out the window, because your identity may have been like, for me, you know, I was corporate. It was like, I knew how to do this thing. I knew how to function in this environment. And I think a lot of women before kids, that's what they know. So it's really hard to envision themselves in something else, because that's all they've ever known. And then it was like kids. So how do we go back to that? How do we reinvent, you know, and be able to use the gifts? And sometimes we get so paralyzed by those fears and insecurities, you wind up not doing anything. You get frustrated, and, you know, the cycle continues until you kind of like start doing those little things to break out. So,
you know, one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I do ask of every guest, is just really about defining success. And I think at different stages in our lives, we have different definitions of success. So right now in your stage of life, and I know your kids they're both in school now, right? Or one of them's in preschool still.
Yeah, but pretty much they're in school. Yeah.
That your business is going. So how is it that Amy defines success?
You know, really, I think it's doing what you love, like kind of on your own terms. Success for me is fulfillment. Fulfillment in many ways. It's not just I'm giving, I'm serving, and that feels really good. I'm helping people transform their lives. That feels really good. It's fulfilling. But in other ways too, I'm using my gifts. That's fulfilling too. This goes back to my FIGS acronym, which I'll tell you all about. I'm contributing financially, which fulfills me. So there's like a lot of different areas that I hit, and I'm hitting them, and that feels so good. And that's what I consider success. It's not about a certain level of money, or, you know, it's not. I mean, money is important, don't get me wrong, but money has nothing to do with success. Nothing. I mean, you know, money can contribute to your feeling of contribution and having that control. So in that way, sure, it's just a tool. But otherwise, yeah, for me, success is just kind of hitting on all of those things. So, and I feel like I'm in it.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit more about FIGS? Because I know we had that conversation not too long ago.
Yeah, I love the FIGS. It's so important. So FIGS is the acronym for family, is the F. So family and friends, like relationships and all of that, and making sure, that's present and being, nurtured in our lives. Because so often it's depending on where you are in your stage of life, sometimes we need our friends more or less, or we retreat sometimes. And once we sort of get out, we feel so much better, once we reconnect with people or get into kind of a situation or like a sisterhood, or, you find your peeps, and it's amazing, So F is the family stuff, and I is income. So really this is what I was just mentioning. For a lot of people, they feel really lost if they're not contributing in some way financially. Even if you don't need, many people, most people need to, okay? Like they need two incomes. But some people, it's just more of like, they want to make their, money. They want to make their money. So if you want to go buy something or, have something, it's like the asking. So many women, for women especially, it's just that financial empowerment of you. And you know what? I feel like I am earning my cash and I don't have to ask you for it, like whatever that looks like for you. That's really important, really important. I remember I was really struck by a conversation I had with my mother back when I was younger, and she couldn't work anymore. Really, she had just kind of had assistant executive jobs, and she stopped working because she was diagnosed with MS, and things just became a little more difficult for her. And I didn't realize at the time, and she made more like what we would consider kind of like that side, like pocket change or whatever, right? So you could go get your nails done and those kinds of those things. And my dad was clearly more of like the breadwinner, but it didn't matter. Her anger at that and her frustration, it was so poignant for me of, seeing her not have just that extra bit and have her own thing. I didn't get it until later. I really didn't get where that was coming from and why it was so important until it happened to me.
Yeah, but the seed was planted back then.
It totally was. It was. And and then later on, I put the pieces back together. When you start to think about your money story, because, we all have that money story, those pieces always come up for me. And that's why the income is so, so important. I think it's in my, so that's why I is there for that very reason. And the G is genius, using your genius, using your gifts, right? So it's like that insecurity that I mentioned, you're not sure of yourself, and you have so many gifts inside you. And if you're not using them, you're not bringing them out. Like, you're just not living in joy. There's a huge chunk of you. And if you're living just for your kids or just to take care of the house and stuff, unfortunately, where's you, right? Truth bomb. No. Where's you?
Like you said, you don't use them, then you're actually just going to take them to your grave, because it doesn't matter. Even if you had a freaking twin, they couldn't share your gifts the way you actually share them.
Yes.
So they have to come from you.
Absolutely. And there's no other you. There's just you. I talk about that in my workshops too. It's like no one can do it like you. Exactly what you said. You hit it. That's true. And you bring that special, you're a little snowflake. We're all snowflakes. I know no one wants to hear that, but I swear we're all snowflakes. So you get that. What?
Yes, I absolutely. What I said, snowflakes and fingerprints.
Snowflakes and fingerprints. Yeah, we are. Yeah. So the final letter of that is S for figs, and S is for self-care. And I think my girl, in particular, just the importance. Like, I was watching you you were at the gym, and I love your Sunday thing. I was so impressed with you, and I get so inspired by women that just dude, see you later. Because I had to really claim that, stake that, where I'd be like, I feel bad, and I don't want to dump things on my husband, and I had a friend that was like, girl, just freaking can that baby over and get out, and oh, I can't, but and I'm like, yes, you fucking can, because you will feel amazed. And I did. That's been a learned that self-care, whatever it is, whether it's like you just got to take a walk in the woods or like go take a time out for 20 minutes. Self-care looks different for everyone, but whatever it is that makes you, recharges those batteries and takes care of you mentally, physically, whatever, that's the self-care part. So I know,
you're preaching to the choir here.
I know, you know all this, guys.
Yeah, no, this is great. And it's great for our viewers. I wanted to actually let the viewers know that if you guys wanted to join in on the conversation, you can.
Yay!
If you're watching on the website, all you have to do is you probably have to first click on the box that says join the conversation. And then you're going to tap on the 9 Google squares that I think you'll either find here or here. Can't remember if it's left or right. Open up the app that says, it's a little, join the conversation. It's a chat box. So basically open up the chat box, type in your question. I'll be able to read it and ask myself or Amy to answer. So let me just go ahead and make sure that that's open. But I really love your FIGS acronym. When we first talked about it, I think we were kind of comparing notes because I had
one too.
Similar. Know about the plan. Yeah, you know about the plan, and you know the plan and FIGS. I really do feel that 4 pillars are really, really super important. And you know, we just when you're touching on self-care and the guilt, and I think you were touching on that video that I did yesterday.
Yeah,
you know, that was huge. It was really huge to be able to be like, I'm going to be a better person if I get my ass to the gym, you know, and I'm going to be better with you. I'm going to be better with everybody around me, with my son. You just have, you know, it creates more patience, more love for your body. My ass is getting like tight. I'll tell you.
I bet. It was already tight, so I'm a little scared of your hotness right now.
Oh my God, speak of the devil. Here we go. Honey's calling. Sorry, can't take the phone call right now. But okay, awesome. So thank you very much for sharing about FIGS. And again, welcome to you guys. If you guys want to join the conversation, please type a question in the chat box. So tell us how you actually use FIGS, because you know FIGS and your Amy Nicole Wellness and the Passion Test, and how does this all work together?
Yeah, it all really just ties together. I mean, I use it basically kind of as like an assessment for seeing where people are. You know, the Passion Test, what that does is it helps people get very clear and about their priorities and how they want to feel, what they want to do, who they want to be in their lives. You know, it can be like, I really like a house in Tahiti, like, you know, that's cool, but it's more of like the bigger picture of how you want to feel, and making sure that your life is more in alignment with the things that you say are a priority. And I help you get clear on what those priorities are. So the FIGS ties into that. It's just sort of like an assessment tool to just, you know, be aware of all those areas, and how that's playing out in your life, essentially. So that's just something, and it's just sort of like a credo. It's like you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I have it and I look at it and it reminds me, like I have it, it's really cute. I have it like, where's a sticky? Oh, sorry. Woo! Locked you on that. So like I have this little, it's, you know, and then there's like a heart in the middle, and I have this up all around, and I really need to add it to a lot more of my website and all that stuff. But I have it around just like remind me, you know what I mean? Like when all those things are in balance, and look, and I hate the word balance. If you see me like talk before, like I always say like, oh, balance is bullshit, because there's always something falling, and because you just you can't, it's not realistic. So
that's where we disagree, because I do believe that there's balance. I do believe. I mean, you can't not do 100% on all of your FIGS or all of my plan at the same time, but you definitely can have balance. I mean, you have 100% to.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that I think like saying like, everything is on all cylinders. I think no, like I don't see how that's possible. You know, you're always kind of like in one quadrant a little more than the others. You know what I mean? Like, and you can, but that's the adjustment.
No, bullshit. think about a Sunday afternoon when you are, you've fulfilled all your business stuff, all your income goals. You are chilling out with the family, eating popcorn, watching a movie. You took some self-care that morning. Everything feels, what's the word?
Yeah, it does. It's like, I picture it like a thermostat. So like yours would be like perfectly aligned. Like if you kind of or look at it like a compass. So if you have like a day like that, it's great. And it can happen. The stars align. It does all of that. But what happens like the next day when some crap happens over here and you didn't get a chance to do something over here, something got edged out. It's like that reminder to kind of like come back. I think certain people, and it's something you have to work at and be really aware of, are really good at being like sensing that you're out of balance and then making sure you kind of come back. Absolutely. I agree with you. But I think most people live in this skewed, like, blah, place where the compass is off, and then they sort of, but reminding yourself, it's the awareness of it to be like, you know what, I really do I need to get to this gym, and I need to, whatever it is. And then you kind of like, it's getting back to center. So I guess if you want to call that balance, fine,
Okay, great. I got you to say it now.
Yes.
Go back to this little snippet and cut it out for you. But, I do talk so much about multidimensional success. And that is one of the things that living in balance, the way I choose to live in balance, is just realizing that you have so many roles that you are. You're sexy mamacita, you're a mama, you're a business owner, you're a chef, you're a psychologist, you're everything. And you can do those things to 100% of your capabilities. You just have to have balance and have some self-care to make sure that you can actually be fully present in that spot. So with that said, I want to know, because I know that you got your target and you're there. There might be some days that we're off. I mean, I get that too. You'll rarely hear me say the words always and never. So, I'm off something too. And I get that, I have my down moments and I have my freaking super high moments. But how is it, like, what kind of tips do you have for our viewers to talk about getting to multidimensional success? Like, what are some of the tools that you use to actually achieve that?
One of my biggest things is, journaling. I know we've heard it a million times, but like for me, writing is like, it just keeps things front and center, and it gets me like aware of my own thoughts, because I know we all have the monkey mind. So when I know when I feel that angst of like something is off, I just start writing stuff out. It can be lists. Sometimes I'm like a big list maker, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like a to-do list, right? I know. It could just be like, I'm getting all the shit out of my brain, and it's just like free flowing on the paper. And that's cool, because it's just sort of, it brings my awareness to what am I thinking about? Where am I frustrated? So that can help you just to like empty the monkey mind.
So that's like a brain dump. You basically, you use your journal to kind of dump out what's on your mind so you can see what's happening on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. I mean, like writing really does it. I think like the, kind of coming back to myself in terms of awareness, because I feel like I'll be in these like frantic moments and I will just sort of come back and just like take the deep breath. Again, they're like very simple things, but they work. Like they really work, where I take the breath and I go, okay, like you're not going to die. If this doesn't happen in the next 5 minutes, it's okay. Realize that it's like self-created drama a lot of times. When you whip yourself into that snit, because like we all do, or, even if it just can be something as simple as like, I'm late for something or getting my kids somewhere. And I'm going, you know what? Like, we're not going to the Olympics. It's like 5 minutes late and it's okay. It's sort of just reminding myself it's okay. It's okay. A lot of times, and that awareness of my thoughts and just coming back into my body, like, because you could just get yourself so crazy about things. So those are kind of my tips. And, obviously I think the self-care and I think connecting with other people is really important, because I tend to like, my head goes down and And I forget how awesome it is when I just need to like go out with a friend or like have a good chat. Like when I chat with you, I'm like, that was awesome. You know, I love talking to you. But yeah, like just these little things where, you know, I know we don't have a ton of time. I don't have a ton of time in the day to like have these epic long conversations with people. So I'm not a big fan of the phone and all that, because I'm just like, I'm trying to stay focused, because I could get distracted and be on the phone for like a long time. But that said, when I do have those calls and they just feel so good, or I just laugh my ass off and I love it. And then, you know, I'm kind of just like back to good. So you'll always just hear me say, I write top 5 on all my posts, like, you know, do what brings you joy. And it's not like these little pithy, like, oh yay, like, you know, do what makes you happy and everything's going to be okay. It's like, what's for you. It's just doing these little things that bring you joy in a day. You know, whether that's like swinging by getting your favorite tea, or, you know, that goes also back to rituals as well. Those rituals really help me feel grounded and bring me joy. Those are really important. And in fact, the same,
tell us about your rituals, because you talked about, you know, brain dumping, journaling. That's one great tip. And it's something that I actually do myself. I've actually started writing out even my affirmations, which has been kind of very interesting lately. Very positive.
Oh, yeah. On here. Okay.
Tell us about your ritual. Do you have a ritual that you actually do?
I mean, my morning ritual, I have like 2 rituals that I do a lot. In the morning, when I wake up, I really try not to look at the phone. It's so hard, you know, because that pull to just check things and be like, what's going on?
Where is your phone when you wake up? Where is it?
I know. It's funny that you say that. It's now back by my head, which I moved it across the room because for like radiation things, I was like, I want it away from my body. And I kind of slipped back. I can totally admit it. It was like, I was using it, and then I use it as my alarm too. So if I keep it across the room and I get up, then I have to get up. So, and I've slipped. I can admit I've slipped in the last couple of weeks. I've been like not putting it across the room, and I should. That's a big tip.
Tonight you're putting it across the room.
Yeah, I'm putting it across the room. I mean, it's 2 things. It's like, yeah, so it's not like, you know, radiation right by your head, and also, you know, it gets you up out of the bed. Like the alarm goes off and you can't hit snooze like 20 times. So right. You get up. What I usually do when I'm good is I get up and I do my stretches and I do like a little yoga routine is me. I need to just like get it all out. I feel like very like I do these things that I don't realize during the day where I'm crunched up. So for me, yoga and stretching is like, it makes or breaks my day. I have to open up those chakras, if you will, you know. So I do that for I don't know, you know, like 15, 20 minutes, but like hopefully kids will wake up.
Time in the morning with the kids?
Well, I try to wake up like at least like a half an hour before them. Yeah.
See,
sometimes I get busted.
Yeah. So I was going to say, you're at the stage where your kids are actually probably wanting to stay in bed. My son is like, he smells, get out of bed. He's like, pounce. I could still sneak out this morning. I snuck out and I was downstairs for about 30 minutes. I got my routine down. It was beautiful. I love it. Love it when
beautiful. And he didn't wake up.
No, because he was snuggled next to Daddy. So
that's awesome.
But you know what? One of the things that I started doing, and we're just really recognizing is, taking that deep breath.
Yeah.
Is just realizing that even the things that were kind of like, say he would wake up 5 minutes after I would wake up, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm like in the middle of journaling. It's going so good. And
yeah.
And just start to really choose my mindset and just really choose that, you know what, he's only going to be this age for this long, for this short amount of period of his time.
Yes.
And I can do my journaling after I drop him off at school, or I can do, you know, catch a few, maybe 5 more minutes when he's playing with Daddy in the morning. And just really choosing to be completely present in that moment. And it's really had a profound effect in, I mean, I think the way that I'm interacting with him. This also goes to bedtime, which I know I shared with you about, you know, putting him to bed. I mean, he's 3, and I still put him to bed until he falls asleep. And there'll be times that I'm in bed with him for an hour.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
And it was, again, just switching the mindset and being like, okay, you know what? I'm going to choose to be here, completely, fully here, and enjoy this special moment with him.
Yeah.
And we've had some really, really cute talks, lots of whispers, it's just adorable.
That is so cute. That's so true. Oh my God, you hit it. You hit it exactly. That happens to me too, where I'm in the middle of a stretch and my daughter like comes in and she like sits on me. And I'm like, yeah, and I get so pissed because I'm like, can I just have 5 freaking minutes, But then I exactly do what you do. I go, and I am like, this is freaking awesome. Like we're alone. We just snuggle, we stretch together. She does the moves with me. And that's beautiful. And you know what? That is freaking awesome. So I just embraced it. It's true. It's true because they can smell me when I get up too. And it's hard. I have to sneak around and it's pathetic, but it's the same. It's so much better when you just don't fight. When you don't fight it, and it's just everything. It makes everything so much better.
It flows, and everybody feels better. I mean, yeah, everybody feels better because you've actually changed your mindset. They haven't changed anything. It's just really you've changed something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's just reality. So can't fight reality. You can just kind of go with it and change your reaction to it. That's just life. So.
Well, we talked about balance. We've talked about, setting up our rituals and doing the things that we really want to do, but not everything kind of goes as planned all the time. So what are some of the things that come up for you on how to actually get through it when when things happen, when things arise, freaking, I don't know, the dishwasher breaks, when there's stuff in there. But how is it that you handle those times in your life, in those areas?
Yeah. I do something to turn it around because, you definitely have those wall kicking moments that are just hard and you just want to cry and you just want to say like, what the hell am I doing?
Well, crying is actually good.
Yeah, they can be good. I tend to try not to spiral out of control where it's like it doesn't take over my whole day. I have to breathe and get through it, but the spiraling I think is something that used to affect me a lot more, where something would go wrong or like something would piss me off and it would just like I'd be so in it. But I think now what I do is, again, it's just like the being conscious of it. And I'm like, all right, Amy, what can you do? What can you do right now just to feel good? And for me, it's usually music where I just jam out. I'm like, all right, I go put on some tunes or something like in the moment where I can just breathe and it instantly lifts me. So it's okay,
So you change your physiology a bit. You change your physiology a little bit?
I think that really
moving.
Or move, get out of the situation, like move away. Because I think a lot of times, like we just kind of tend to sit and endure it and just go, all right, I'll get over it. And you can't like will yourself. It's just like, let me mentally just, let me will myself to feel better and just be positive. Like, no, it's like physically. Sometimes that's what you have to do. It changes everything. It changes your waves, your energy. Your energy completely changes when you're in that state, as of anger, of frustration, of sadness, whatever. All your vibrations come down, and then if you stay there, you're going to attract more of that. The low vibrational stuff, and. So for me, I'm just constantly looking for how do I get into the high vibration? And it's different for everyone of what gets you there. For me, it's music. For me, it's nature. For me, it's like, doing the snuggles. If it's not my kids that are pissing me off, you know what I mean? It's just like these little things. Even for me, just looking at beauty, like I'm a total interior design, fashion, beauty whore. Like I love even just me on Pinterest is like, or me in a magazine. As you know, I'm like I'm a little obsessed with that stuff. But I feel so good. I'm just like like even if I'm looking at
self-care, that's part of your self-care. It falls right into that.
Exactly.
identified what works, and you're able to welcome that in. But I do want to say something, and not just to you, but also to the viewers.
Yeah.
And just of knowing that you can't know beauty without knowing ugly. And just to really know that they both exist and they can coexist. And when you were talking about, being down and like changing your physiology and getting out of that funk and whatnot, there's also a lot to be said for recognizing the moment that is happening. Maybe, something really horrible could happen. And it's just really recognizing there is the complete opposite, and that's coming. But sometimes, say, for example, a death in the family. You really have to allow yourself to spend time in that space.
I was just going to say that. Yep. Yeah. It's not about like denying it. Because I totally agree with you. I think a lot of times we need to just go into it. There is actually something related to with the passion test stuff, of going into the feeling, acknowledging, just like you said, acknowledging it, going into it, letting yourself let those things come up, acknowledge them, face them, feel them, and then it's like, I acknowledge your presence, okay, but I'm not going to allow you to take me over.
Yeah, and that's when you were talking about the spiraling, and I totally agree. And sometimes, you need more time to deal with stuff. A death in the family could be a week that you're just completely out of it. And I know that
longer, just like processing that. Absolutely, yeah.
But you get something like a negative remark from somebody on one of your posts, you'll be like, you know what? I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Maybe not even that. I'm just gonna sit with it. I just got one of those.
I'm just gonna sit with it. I'm gonna crank you out like a really horrible email that I'm not gonna send. Yeah.
Don't even spend that time on it. Just be like, you're gonna encompass part of my mind for this amount of time, and then you move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I'm with you, girlfriend. I am with you 100%.
I know you are. That's why I knew that this conversation was gonna be so good. That's why I knew.
I know, no doubt.
Let's take this down a little fun trip now. Tell me about one of your biggest fears. It could be a fear that maybe you overcome, or it could be something that you're dealing with, or something that you're going to deal with soon. All my interviewees share one of their biggest fears. So what's your biggest fear?
Yeah. I think my vulnerability fear was very big. Fear of kind of looking silly. That like I think had gripped control of me for a long, long time. And it prevented me from doing a lot of things that I don't want to say I fully don't give a shit, but I mean, I'd be lying, but it is diminished greatly. And I think coming out of, I don't want to say out of my shell, but I'm just more like, you know what, look, I have something to say, and like, I'm just going to say it, or you're just going to see me, bleh, all of it. You just be more transparent. And look, I think because me being with my health and wellness, the nutritional company, and what I'm doing, helping people with that aspect, and wanting to share that gift with people, that has overtaken that. I really, now in talking to you too, I really realized this. Wanting to help people and share that gift with people has helped me overcome that, because you're like, Aim, you're going to not share this gift and get out there because of your insecurities. And that's bullshit. That's massive bullshit to me. So I was like, you know what? That became bigger than my own shit going on in my head, So it was like, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let people think. I don't care, And then I was able to just like, it all flowed. Everything flowed. And I've gotten to a really good place with that now, because as people see, and you go to my page, I'm like, I'm out, I'm talking about stuff, and I just don't care, because I know I'm helping so many people to transform their lives, and that's freaking amazing. So
it is. And that's when you finally decide on a purpose that's much bigger than yourself.
Yes.
That you're going to be able to create and really impact people's lives, but also their families' lives, because they might share it with other people, or they might actually lose 100 pounds and be able to go to the freaking park with their kids.
Oh my God, totally. Or just even have the energy, like not have sleep at 3 in the afternoon and just feel great. Just get their health on track and yes. Or their mindset better or their confidence better, just deal with everything that we've all gone through.
Yeah, so why don't you share a little bit more about that? Because I know that was it was a big aha for you to actually realize that they're melded together, like your coaching, and this was really the pathway through it. So why don't you share a little bit about your wellness side?
Yeah. Well, for me, like I said, I kind of went in different directions for a while, and that also goes back to the fear of kind of putting yourself out there. Forever, I've always been very passionate about nutrition and wellness, natural healing, holistic living, that kind of stuff. I've always loved it, tortured my family and friends with, articles and info, read this, do this, don't eat that, blah, 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 that person. And they're like, and they love me now, but it's obviously, they just like to give me shit about it. But I've always been that person in my family, personal development, all that stuff. I'm sure you're the same way. But, that side of me was very limited to just like my family and maybe my close friends that knew I was really into that stuff. But I think I never let it out, and I don't know why. I didn't. But it's just this karma. It is like the universe, everything coming together, and that's what happened for me because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I know I needed to do something. I wanted my own business. I needed to make consistent money for, the income part of things. I needed to use my genius. Like I love to coach and help people. So I kind of got on track, and took the courses for life coaching, which is great. And then I got certified to be a passion test facilitator, so I could do that. So it was like pieces. I didn't realize at the time, I just was like following the breadcrumbs, you know what I mean? Because it was like, it was something I loved to do that. Like I love to write. That's what I always did. It was like all these pieces. And the nutrition side, always on like the DL. So for me, it was like, I'm going, still something's not quite right. Something's not quite right, that where I'm not totally in alignment and I know something's missing. And for me, my intro to it was my husband and I had done this nutritional program a couple of years back. And for him, he was totally, he was overweight. He had gone to grad school and gained like a bunch of weight. And then he went to a very demanding job where he literally had no time, tied to a desk, ate like crap, gained a lot of weight, felt like crap, had zero energy. And I was just like a tired mommy, like who probably could have lost a few pounds. But for me, it was more like I had brain fog. I wasn't focused and all that stuff. But he was the one who like a friend of his, who's our coach now, introduced us to the program. And so we did it, and it was amazing. It was awesome. It like changed our lives in so many ways. Weight loss and energy, like I said, the focus, and performance, and for the long term. Like it wasn't just like a one and done, like quick fix thing. And
So how long ago did you actually do that cleanse?
like almost 2 years. Almost,
okay.
Yeah. And what's funny is that was 2 years ago. Okay. This summer will have been 2 years, and it was awesome. But I was had like, and I don't want to say my head up my butt, but like, I didn't see, for me, it was an opportunity because, what I didn't realize at the time was you could share that gift with other people. Okay. Because it's a network marketing model. They don't, the program, they don't advertise. So they don't pay for advertising. They don't have brick and mortar stores. The way they advertise is just through word of mouth. That's what network marketing is. You just, hey, it's like you went to a restaurant, you saw a great movie, you tell your friend. That's what this is. Except this, this will probably change your life versus, going to that movie. But who knows? No judgment. But for me, it was like, oh, this is awesome. I can coach people because I love to coach people. I can let my health and wellness thing out of the bag, and bring it all together, and make an income from it and get paid. The company pays you to tell people about the program and help other people get started, and then they can also do it as a business and make money. So it's like sharing the health, sharing the wealth. And that for me, it was like a huge, and it wasn't until like a year later that all came together for me, that I realized I can pull, all the things that I need, this vehicle provides me. And it was just such an aha moment. It all tied together, and it was like, I'm in the right place, when you just know. And that's when I didn't have, I used to call you. I used to be like, I don't know, like what I'm doing. This doesn't feel right. She knows. She's heard me like cry and be like, what am I doing? But yeah, I mean, that's really like when the pieces come together, because you just can't plan it. It just happens. The pieces come together and it feels right. And when that happens, there's just no better feeling. You're on the right path, and then you kind of found your thing.
Yeah, and number one, I do want to say that just the fact that you actually going through it, and also having the testimonial of your husband, I think that's actually really huge, because there are a lot of people who get into, say, network marketing, and they're like, okay, the money. And it's not about the money. It's really about having a transformation yourself and wanting to actually change or transform others' lives through that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it was so touching to me. It wasn't, look, I'll be honest with you. And I told you this, and I love I support so many other mamas like selling things or, in their network marketing business, whether it's jewelry, whether it's makeup, whether it's skincare, whatever. Fabulous. I love you. Many of my friends, and I buy from them, and I love them. But for me personally, I needed something that it was, when I saw how much it changed our lives, like this is stuff where you're like, people are like thanking me, and I'm crying because I'm so moved by, like, I could play with, like you said before, like I could go play with my kids. Like I could go get into that bathing suit again. Like I fit into my skinny jeans. Like, I just feel freaking awesome, and my numbers, look good, and my health is like through the roof. That makes me so emotional with, like, that's fulfilling. That's success to me. So that's why I chose that. And I'm just never looking back. It just makes so much sense. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm so happy that you found that. I'm so happy that you found that vehicle, or not just found it, but it actually lived through it and recognized it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, it doesn't hurt. I'm not going to say like, I don't need the money. I'm like, but holy crap, like, you're going to pay me for doing something that I honestly, like, it's not work to me. It feels so good. You're helping people and you can get paid for that. Like, hey, no brainer. I mean, for me, it was a no brainer. And I watch people like kind of struggle to figure out, like, I don't know what to do, and blah, blah, blah. And I feel you, you've got to figure out what turns you on, what gets you excited, I have friends that's just like their passion is whatever. And then they've got to go with what makes sense for you, what really lights you up. But I think figuring out that money piece is like the hard part for people, because they might know what they like, but they don't know how to kind of do it in a way that makes sense and that they're going to have consistent income. Because I will tell you, for me, and I think I shared this with you before, this also really made sense for me, because I'm not like, I want to be an entrepreneur and I love being in business, but it's, as you know, it's hard. Like you feel like you're on your own, and it's all on you. It's all on you doing this. And for me, I like the things I liked about corporate when I was there were the structure. I actually liked having meetings. I liked having someplace to dress up, put on makeup, and I like having someplace to go. I need that structure and those systems in my life. And this company provided that as well. It was like, there was a known product that, has helped people and is effective. And so it was like, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. It wasn't like me coming up with my own program. Like a lot of coaches, I think they have their gift and they're just like, well, I want to come up with a program and help people. I'm like, I've got something right here. Like, this is someone's already got this proven thing that's freaking awesome. And that I truly believe in it. It's not like I'm just saying I believe in it because, I need something. It's like, it's worked for me. It's worked for so many others. So I'm like, I'm passionate about it. I believe in it. So it gave me the product essentially, because I think a lot of people struggle with what's my product? What am I selling? What is my program? When I was coming up with their program, and I'm like, that exhausted me because I was like, I like kind of a done for you, something that works. And this just made so much sense. So, and then I tack on stuff with, and then again, the passion test stuff, that's also a done for you thing where it's already a proven, like a system. It's something, because I like to teach. I like to pass it on, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily, and I add my own personal thing to it for sure, but you get what I'm saying. It's kind of like.
Totally. But I do want to ask, because you said you did this program yourself 2 years ago. You really didn't start hitting it hard until about last year.
Yes.
What was the moment? What was that catalyst that you finally went, oh my God, these go together. Like I can use all of my gifts, right? So what was that little moment? Do you remember?
I do. I actually do. It was when I was frustrated with my coaching. Like what did my coaching business look like? At that point, I was so focused on who am I as a coach? What am I offering? Like as kind of a life and a passion coach, whatever. And I had a meeting with my coach from this program, from the nutritional program. And he also had done like life coaching and stuff. So he took me out. And he was like, because he'd seen what I was posting and he had seen that I was, doing my life coaching stuff. And he was like, he was so honest with me. And I call him my angel because he made me see that I had my head up my ass where this could all come together in a perfect thing. He was like, you love coaching. You want to help people. You love this program. You love nutrition. He's like, I didn't see it either. And he's like, and then all of a sudden it was like, it all came together. Do you see, he like painted the picture for me. Do you see how this can be a consistent income? It can be your own business. This is what you want. You want to be an entrepreneur. You want your own business. You want to do stuff on your own terms. You want a product that works, that transforms people's lives. Check. Like, check. It was like, go down the boxes. He's like, do you see how this is the total package for you? You can coach people. You have a relationship with people. You can share this with people. You can inject your own personality to it. You know what I mean? Because you really do have to have like your own brand. And I love that. I love branding. I love all that stuff.
So he took you out.
Yeah, he just took me out and he was just like, it was like that, where you just look at someone and go, hey now, what is wrong with you? And you're just, he basically slapped my face and woke me up. And I was like, dude, yes, like I'm an idiot. So,
you're not an idiot, change that language, but you know what?
Yeah,
we all need a kick in the ass sometimes. And I've been noticing it a lot coming up in my practice, just with coaching. It's like people really, they know what to do. They know how to do it most of the time, unless it's, some system that they're trying to figure out.
Right.
But what they really need is they need the kick in the ass and they need the accountability.
Yes, which is why you're going to be my new coach, by the way. Yes. You don't know it yet. We'll announce it live.
I would be honored. I would be totally honored. And I'm just looking at the time to be conscious of it. We are almost up. We knew this was going to be an awesome conversation. We could probably talk all day, but I don't know if anybody wants to really listen to a 6-hour conversation. So one thing I do want to ask you, thank you, number one, so much for being on the show and sharing all of your knowledge and your background.
Thank you.
All the details are down below, how to actually reach Amy. It's amynicolewellness.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So those details are there, but I really want to know for you, Miss Amy Nicole Naim, baby, what is your big plan for 2016? What is it that you're going to conquer, that you are going to reach? It could be monetary, it could be physical, it could be, just what are you going, what is in store for you for 2016?
God, all good things. Yeah, baby, it's going to be great. I'm loving it. I love it. I really would like to just be able to broaden my reach and help as many people as I can, to turn people on to my program, the products, my coaching and wellness. And financially, I think just to be able to contribute at a level that for me is like, I feel good and I feel solid and I feel like equal, partnership, right? So just to like grow and expand that and hit those numbers and reach my goals and just keep doing what I'm doing, to be honest with you, because it's in a good place. It just needs to be even bigger. So we're doing it. We're doing it.
And I can't wait to help you make it.
Thanks, baby.
You're welcome. Well, thank you guys all for joining in. It's been a great hour, but the Empower Hour is now ended. Stay tuned for the next episode, number 30, which special guest to be announced later. But again, Amy, it's been great having you. I love you, and I've always loved our conversations. So being able to share you with my community and the world, I'm just utterly grateful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. You're the best. Thank you for sharing me, and thanks for having me. Love you. I love what you're doing. Everything is just phenomenal. So only good things. You're the best.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We will see you next time. Have a great one.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Let me see my mouse. Where are we at? Bye.